The music that's playing right now is from in The Witcher 2 Neutralizer. Oh, he's so friendly, he's so lovey. Alright, what was I gonna do? I think I just sat down to relax. Okay, cool. Oh my god, he's shoving his face into my stomach. Jasper. What a fuzzy guy. What a fuzzy guy. Yeah. Why don't you go sit on that stool I set up just for you, buddy? No idea where I'm going. I know. Up there. Look, I can get there from here. You know, funnily enough, Canuck Lucky, my cat loves watching the rats, but he doesn't really go after them. They're a little too big and a little too strange for him to, like, pursue as a threat or anything like that. How do I get over there?
Stupid. She just fell unconscious.
The commoners claim it's our princes.
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
Humans only care how they're.
Geralt! It's good to see you.
The commoners claim Stennis is involved in Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
What's stopping them?
The knights. Adernian noble lords.
Not easy to raise a hand against a blue blood.
A peasant by the name of Calton was at the council. He didn't seem to respect anything or anyone.
Calton's a blackguard. He'll use any excuse to raid and plunder.
He has a taste for noble blood. They say he buries gold looted from the lords in some gorge. Looks like things are getting nasty.
Hear me! What do you want? I'm Skill and Burden. I keep order in Vergen.
Are doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails!
Stop!
Yovath.
Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons. I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olgan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Calton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Squirt'll keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off!
Yeah.
We need to act quickly.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure.
Roll it down, you surly dog! Change your tone when we...
Say,
Why
Witcher,
is he
come over
lingering
here.
about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witchers be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He'd better search for a lad who served the Vergen instead of pissing around.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets. Throwing their weight about too much they are.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
The prince is a wealthy lord. Bribing a skivvy to poison the wine is nothing to him.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones. What's it really all about? Who's backing you?
We want justice.
We don't need no one backing us. We knows what to do.
How would you punish the prince?
If a lad counts hens wrong, he'll be flogged. What should we then do with a man poisoning others?
Kill him.
A land without a ruler is a nightmare.
We have a ruler, the Virgin of Eden.
It's not certain she'll live.
Then we'll choose another who'll manage. But he must be one of us lads. That way he'll understand us.
And all people is gonna be equal, our way.
And the non-humans?
We have enough down on the fields. Let non-humans find a non-human
They're
land.
in a non-human town.
Away with them!
You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
What did he
You
say?
know...
Willie of the Oblates.
Yeah.
He handled the wine, indeed, but
He'd
Where's this...
hiding.
Hiding in a shack, okay.
Farewell.
give us this whoreflower.
What would the prince gain with the Virgin's death?
Things look
Say,
bad.
Witcher, come
the
over
peasants
here.
are furious. They finally have a chance to strike back for all their own.
The noblemen won't yield.
They're a cowardly lot.
They know their heads will follow Stennis's.
It's a deadlock, with the prince's guilt still to be proven.
Yarpin says it's someone from Edern. Sheldon, on the other hand, would shave his beard if it's not Hensel's spies.
Has Yarpin got any evidence?
No, Yarpin's an old cook and says he's got a feeling. Plowing soothsayer.
He might be right with those feelings. After all, not just anyone can pass through the Wraith's mist. It has to be someone local.
So it never crossed your mind that Hensel might have sent someone here before those ghosts appeared?
Why would Sheldon suspect Henselt?
He'd sooner reach an agreement with Stennis than Saskia. Her death would be very convenient.
Zoltan?
I'm wondering how anyone could manage to poison the wine. Saskia's a quick-witted lass. She doesn't let just anyone near. Someone she knew must have done it.
Anyone reached the prince in his chamber?
Not even close. The nobles guard him like a matron does her ward's hiney.
If the rabble slaughters the prince, there'll be no stopping them. They'll start doing things their own nasty way.
That's why the nobles will support the prince even if they believe he's guilty.
I'm sure Stennis' hands are dirtier than a peasant girl's fucked in a barn.
Change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling...
Say, Witcher, come over here.
What do you want?
We of noble birth always had to protect the plebs from their own stupidity. If not for us, the world...
I don't have time to listen to songs praising the nobility.
Hey, Psychtooth.
Know anything about the attempt on Saskia's life?
No, I don't. But whatever the truth, the mob cannot lynch one of royal blood.
So truth means nothing to you. That's what makes us different.
I didn't say I don't care about truth. Just keep in mind there's a world order that mustn't be destroyed.
An order that allows injustice.
If the prince turns out to be involved in this attempted murder, he should face a tribunal. The rabble doesn't understand the principles ruling the world.
Or they do understand them and simply don't like them.
Saskia is a wise woman, but there's one thing she doesn't take into consideration. This war will be over one day. Who will sow the crops and milk the cows then? Saskia called the serfs to arms. Do you think they'll want to plough fields again?
You may be right, but it's certainly not my business who'll plough your fields. Farewell.
Give us this whoreflower.
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
You would change your tone.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf, who then did what he was...
Henselt.
Doesn't he have saucers at his court? Or perhaps he hired a witcher to break through. There's no other explanation.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
It's good to see someone's taking care of it.
If not for that damned Jorvith, the serfs would probably be hanging the prince by
No, I wanted to find this servant.
He cannot be trusted. If he found proof of Stennis's guilt, he'd point his bow the other way. The prince has it coming,
Give us this horsepower!
Good. Rolling dung, you surly dog!
You would change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
Give us this horsepower!
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
Who will the witcher side with?
He's on very good terms with that damned...
Supposed to be in a shack or something.
What should I do?
I've been looking for you.
There we go.
I don't know, you.
You caused quite a commotion. Afraid of something?
No, nothing.
You're lying.
I didn't do nothing. Didn't say nothing, don't know nothing, and didn't see nothing.
Tell me everything you know about the attempt on Saskia's life.
I heard the priest talking with the prince. This goody-goody, said the Virgin, is really a beast under her fair skin.
What priest?
Olcan, the one killed.
So there's no way I can check if you're lying.
I swear on my mother's grave, I speak the truth.
What else did you hear? Tell me.
I was put in Saskia's room in order when the priest came to the prince's chamber next door. They wasn't speaking loud, but I heard the priest say, just clear the servants from the kitchen. Nothing more. Reverend Olcan, only he could tell you how it was, beginning to end.
The dead aren't very talkative.
What about what they leave behind? There may be clues or some such.
Maybe.
Nobody will believe me anyway.
Gather more information. Priest's house. Cecil Burden's help. Okay, cool.
They say someone cast a spell, and the Virgin fell.
No idea where Cecil Burden is.
Oh, a witcher.
Good morning, Ken A72. This is Reverend Olcan's house, but don't think Cecil Burden is here. Yeah. Oh no, this is Cecil
They
Burden.
lie in wait for their lord and prince.
Okay.
Humans are an odd lot. I certainly hope Scalen can clean up this mess. What can I do for you, Witcher?
I need to know where Reverend Olcan used to live.
Simple. Let me show you on the map. It's about right here.
I really like the Witcher's eyes.
See
Really
you,
cool.
Governor.
Okay. Down there, eh? Right. Search Reverend Olkin's runes.
I heard. Shut your trap if you don't know what's going on.
Who will the Witcher side with?
He's on very good terms.
Could be. Sorcerers are a plague of the worst kind. Hang them all by the ball.
Don't try anything.
Oh. Sort of pointing me the way. That's really weird. Sometimes it tells you where to go for like the final thing, and sometimes it gives you little mini objectives on the way. Interesting.
Strange aura.
Really?
Nothing interesting.
What? There's a pile of books here and there's nothing interesting in them? Life and Death of the White Rose. What's in that? Okay, books. Okay, but I've already read this. Yeah, okay. Vulcan's notes. Take them. What on earth? That's super cool. I like it. Okay, that's really strange. That's it. Aura. Look at this, that's amazing. I think whoever did this must have had a lot of fun. Like, hey, let's just put a whole bunch of books here that are physics objects and then you can walk through them. Wait for events to unfold. I like that. Dang, okay, so this was a goblet identical to the one Saskia had used during the council. The designs clearly implicated Olkin as an accessory to Saskia's poisoning, yet they did not solve the mystery as a whole. Investigation is still open, so he decided to continue his search for clues. Well, it certainly seems like Stennis is guilty. Onwards. We haven't yet scheduled the next R&D or swan song, but I'm sure we're going to start trying that ASAP now that DJ Weed is back from his vacation.
Nobody will believe me anyway.
Greetings.
Greetings.
If not for that damned Jorvik, the serfs would probably...
The prince has it coming.
Enough of this charade!
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her, he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the Vergen sips it.
It's not clear how the prince poisoned the wine.
What? Yes, it is.
But that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanted to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene dumbhead the prince can, curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stennis could do it.
You're wrong, Colton. Reverend Olkin wanted to get rid of Saskia. He thought she was a monster at heart.
Olkin was on Stennis' leash like a dog.
How dare you, lout! Do you imagine if someone sits next to a married lady, he's surely fucking her?
The priest tried to convince Prince Stennis to join the conspiracy.
Is Stennis some dimwit foundling that he dances to a lousy priest's tune? Olcan got what he deserved when Henselt cleaved his head. Now it's Stennis' time.
There is no proof the prince agreed.
The priest asked him for admittance to the kitchen.
So he didn't poison the Virgin himself, but allowed her to be poisoned.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Edirn? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Edirn, can judge me. Can he? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you? I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign!
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
Hey, by the way, buddy, I need some of your
Peasants
blood.
are furious,
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
but they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
Well, okay. Seems like I didn't fail the quest. That's good. Obtain some of Henselt's blood. Someone was asking if we're still doing Numenera. We've probably got one more session left of Numenera, and then we'll do a one-shot of Made RPG, and we'll move on to a new game. Oh. Cool. Let's see. Yeah. Gain some of Henselt's blood. Where do I need to go for that? I don't even know who Henselt is. What? So confused. Tyrannese is asking, do I enjoy being a player or a DM more? Personally, I love both. I tend to find myself in the DM role more than in the player role. And I enjoy it. I love it a lot. It's a ton of fun making the world that the players are running around in. People are telling me Henselt's the rival king on the other side of the fog, so I'm not going to be able to get his blood until I clear the fog. Is that even possible? I thought I needed the blood in order to clear the fog. No, I need the blood to... Right, yeah, okay. So... Hatred symbolized. Okay, gotta clear the fog. Clear in the fog, clear in the fog. Doopa 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 doopa, clear in the fog. But I'm really looking forward to our West Marches. We get to play again soon. You poke JP and be like, JP, let's play more West Marches.
Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old kook Henselt. called king by some. Thought that Aedirnians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edirn?
According to Henselt, Upper Edirn is the ancient legacy of the Kedweni crown, and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crab. 700 years ago, the elves reigned here. And 1,000,000 years ago, these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Edirn. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want...
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Aedirnians, Kedweni, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen. A beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent a dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edirn at all. We decimated the dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwenis gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armor. Then, Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Aedirnian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kedweni sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
I see chat talking about DMs. Careful, guys. I know that, everybody has a tendency to get preferences when they are exposed to a couple of options, and, they love what they love. I certainly have this with video games, and certainly people who watch the role-playing shows have developed preferences for their favorite GM. Just, bear in mind that there are real people on the end of those opinions, and that it's fine to have it, but maybe don't defend it fiercely, right? I would like to think that there are things that I do better than Adam and Neil, and there are absolutely things that each of them do better than me, and I think they're both great GMs, and I'm delighted to be on a cast of such powerful people, so it's great. Just, enjoy and build up rather than making comparisons. That's all. Now, for your regularly scheduled thingy. There was my rats over here were blustering around each other. One of them was like grabbing the other one's haunches and trying to pull him into a hut. Then they were sort of like standing up and sort of boxing with each other for a little bit.
Did you see the duel between Seltkirk and Van de Grift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once at a jousting tournament in Ardcarreg. Seltkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Seltkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Van de Grift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Seltkirk with that new sword.
Van de Grift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing, too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake or Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitors sent them to their deaths. Refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Adernians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard. Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhart claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Van de Griff's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.
Go to the catacombs in the forest and find the Dun Standard's banner. Interesting. So Saskia has the sword. And I'm not going to get it from her until she's alive. So I need royal blood in order to clear the fog. Ah, this is strange. It feels like there's a loop in the quests. Sure there's not. But just by looking at it, I can't see the way to fix it. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with The Witcher 3. Creating an open world game is a challenge. I hope that they rise to it.
Don't try anything.
Catacombs of the Forest. Weird, this part of the map doesn't really seem to indicate anything at all. It's just like, here's a map and it's in a foreign language. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. I'm always cautious about games before they're released. In fact, before Shadow of Mordor came out, I read what they were saying about the Nemesis system, and I said, that sounds really cool. I'll believe it when I see it. And then it came out, and to my surprise, everybody said, hey, this is actually doing exactly what they said it would. And now I'm playing it, and I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun.
Hey!
Hey! Whoa, what the? Oh, I see. I thought she was, like, encased in rock or something like that.
Greetings. What are you doing out here this late?
Thinking.
About what?
About the approaching fight.
As long as the mist of wraiths is up, there won't be a fight.
I ponder something else. We women must leave the shadows. When fighting, we're equal to men. But off the battlefield.
Women are no warriors.
We do everything the men do, and as well as they do. Gender doesn't determine ability.
One of the times when I didn't mean what the writing here said, but I didn't understand it clearly.
You know why men command armies? Because they don't waste time on idle chat.
Yeah.
We could argue all night about the injustice of it, but until you show you can get something done, saying that you can won't change much. It won't be easy, but you could try to blaze a trail.
A worthy endeavor in itself, I know. Thank you, Witcher. Godspeed.
Forgive them. Hatred blinds them.
It's neat when there are little social encounters like that that don't really have any attachment to quest. The catacombs in the forest. Wow, I don't think I've ever been out here. I really like that, the way that your eyes adjust to the light when you get dark vision. It's really cool. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember. Let's brew some potions. Hi Castiel. You feeling happy this morning? He's trucking all around the cage trying to find his friends. So, swallow. That. I do like wolf. Or wolf. What else do I have? Honey owl. Book. So I can use a rook to counter the reduction from swallow. Okay, that's good. I was actually also hoping that I would fight that elf girl claim. It's like Tooth, I am loving my playthrough of Shadow of Mordor. It's so fun. The thing that I think Shadow of Mordor does the best is that it gives you lots of ways to create your own objectives. So it has really good 3-second gameplay, like the combat is really good 30-second gameplay. You can get combat location in interesting ways. And then it also has really good 30-minute gameplay. Because you're always choosing what you want to do and what you want to focus on. And it takes you about 30 minutes to accomplish whatever you've chosen. I probably will stream some Shadow of Mordor sometime. Probably not a full playthrough. Oh, sorry. What was I saying? I was saying Shadow of Mordor has really good 3-second gameplay. There's really good combat. It has really good 30-second gameplay, and that like moving from combat area to combat area is interesting. And it also has a really good 30-minute gameplay because it lets you choose your own objective. It gives you lots of ways to choose your own objectives, and they each take about 30 minutes to complete, and they're all very interesting. Even more so because you chose them yourself, right? Okay, time to drink some of those things. Woo. Rook.